This is Margaret in Windsor. This is three Brits that came to Roanoke, a few miles from where I was on the Appalachian Trail, 11/26/97. I was atop freezing, camping, starving, with everyone around here in this area knowing. This is an article that accompanied this picture. It's about Diana. And her gowns she had worn were being shown at the Hotel Roanoke with limos and all the finery. The Brits made, you can't read it here, but they made a comment about they didn't share in they told what they were wearing and how they were living. Part of that is because the three names that they, okay, let me go ahead and give them credit here and hope they, Dominic Young, Dave Kirby, and Mike Dempsey. Now, Mike, let me turn this around. I just lost the whole camera. How's that? Hurting so bad. Mike Dempsey, Dempsey's the name they gave me when they kidnapped me out of Buckingham Palace in '41 and brought me to Moulton, Alabama, in a pigsty, and gave me, stole my identity, gave me the name of a dead twin. Both of them were dead, Peggy and Carl Dempsey. They were illegitimate. And I want you to see the connection of what they did. My real name is Margaret Ann Windsor. My father is King Edward VIII. I'm the legitimate heir to the British crown, Victoria II. Now then, where they took me, it's like patterns and name games, and it makes you wonder who could put it all together, actually. But they took me there. It was twins, and remember, twins unfolds throughout all this. This is 41. The man who fathered the twins, and that's who I told I was growing up, was Freeman Norwood. His last name was Geneva, as later in the Geneva Convention, and you associate it with me. Also, I'm trying to think, I'm leaving out something here. Anyway, I grew up in a horrible condition. Now, the Dempsey that these three gentlemen from Britain, the pub that they're talking about owning in England, they deliberately used the name Dempsey. They're supporting me. Of course, Diana, that little article next to it is people of Roanoke, they don't care. Money talks and beggars walk, and the beggar's me. It might have belonged to me, but I sure don't have it, and they don't care. They got what they wanted, and to hell with me. Now, I'm not talking about the Brits and the Germans. They saved my life. As bad as I've lived in hell and been mistreated, they were there for me and paid a price. While Elizabeth, illegal monarch who works for the United States, has lived in luxury and finery. Now, I want to go back. Where I'm at now is it's a hotel here in Roanoke, and it has a pub, St. Pete's Pub. So I'm making the connection to patterns and timing, and I hope this is the end of the trail for me, and I get to go, and there's a court. Maybe only God can do it, because half these people are dead, and the others are still doing it. The New World Order, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, the media that's owned and controlled by them, they're not going to tell us. So anyway, that was what I wanted to make the connection, and other things that you aren't aware of, the patterns and stuff. I hope it's the end. It's payback time. I can pay those who helped me, and I can certainly pay back those, I hope, that committed the crimes against me, my children, my mom and dad, and the British and the Germans. Okay, now I want to go to this because really an FBI agent told me in '82, after I'd had antifreeze put in me on April the 1st of '80, and my ex-husband helped do it. He was in on the part of it. I was gotten out to his sister's, trying to get away from the mess. I was going to stay with her, and she lived in Abilene then. And I'd called her just before I left, and lo and behold, when I got to Texas, I called and said, well, I'm this far, and she said, well, she told me to turn around and go back. I couldn't come and stay with her and look for a job. My intent was to get a job and get my children out of Atlanta. I didn't know that it was because I was kidnapped and my real identity was what was causing all the chaos and torture in Atlanta. So I was turned back, and when I got back to my apartment at Laurelwood in Marietta, lo and behold, my ex-husband had been allowed to come in. He had signed a new lease using my deposit. He had moved out my furniture, and it no longer was mine when I got back. I had no key, and I got antifreeze put in the April the 1st of 80, and it's been hell. And I worked later. I had brain damage. What does anybody think? I later worked for the district attorney in Huntsville, and that his name is Fred Simpson. As in Simpson married, we're supposed to marry the King of England. That's a lie. My father is Edward VIII, the real one, married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe. My aunt is Georgia O'Keefe, the artist. So there was a double used to marry Wallace Simpson, but I'm trying to get to the main game that links and connects and the timing is the Dempsey that I just told you. So I don't know if you can connect it, but you can if you want to. Because the FBI agent said back then, he said, what you're telling is boring them, and he faked yawning. He said, you're boring them. And he said it's only when they find out how it affects them that they will care. Well, they don't care for me. I found that out. Okay, I'm going to say this. Philip and Nancy Greedos was a mind control programmed kidnapping. Philip and Nancy is names that Philip I grew up with, thinking he was a half brother. In reality, he works for the ATF. He's retired, I believe. And he goes to the dentist back in '84, and he comes back and he has a root canal. He's a totally different person from the Philip I knew. Anyway, later he is commandeered by the ATF. He's an agent. Of course, he's got a badge, and people don't care to see the underlying story. He's married to Nancy, and I'm going to skip the things done to me by them too, because Nancy said the people that Philip worked for are part of who's doing it to you. And she's right. It was it's FBI that are, go ahead and say it, because it is, if you want to call it MK Ultra or whoever, but the programming and mind control. Anyway, Philip and Nancy Greedos kidnapped J.C. Dugard, and she was living in a camp in their backyard. And I'm going to go on from there. They just had Ariel Castro. He committed suicide, and that's what I've been telling. With mind control, you program the person to run up and shoot, kill. You can program them to commit suicide, and it looks like they did it when it was actually murder-induced suicide. But Castro, you can cause cancer, you can heal it. So this would take down your medical profession, wouldn't it? Your inventory, your lab, the whole bit. If you knew you could cure illnesses, and they can bring them about. It's akin to psychosomatic. Okay, you had Ariel Castro. I'm not going to try to give you the patterns. It's too much because it involves configuration and time and history. Okay, Amanda Berry, I'll say this, the Amanda part. Michelle Knight, Knight, Knight. Gina DeJesus. And then Ariel Castro kills himself, and he's called brutal and all these things. When he's a victim himself, he was programmed. He couldn't stop it. He didn't even know why he did it. So anyway, stop and think about it. It could be you that was programmed, and you're in prison or a mental hospital being fed psychotic drugs and tortured to death. Now then, Hannah of the Moreland Lake in Utah, DiMaggio killed her mother and brother. Okay, that was a mind control, and they shot him. So these are victims, though, that I'm talking about, too, just as much as the one that died in the fire. But you know what? If I walked up to them before it happened, they'd probably have me locked up, okay? So they didn't appreciate it unless it happens to them. So the next one is, I want to go into the Morehead, and Sandy Hook shootings up in Connecticut. These two names are connected to Sandy Hook, Kentucky, and Morehead, Kentucky, and Carlisle, Kentucky. And I can't try to tell the patterns here. And of course, the Hannah is a nickname for Margaret, or Peggy. Peggy is a nickname for Margaret. So I'm going to go on down here to Fort Hood, where the psychiatrist did the shootings, found guilty. He finished school at Virginia Tech. He was born here in Roanoke, Benton. He was programmed. How can he defend himself if he doesn't even know he was programmed? You've got the Tucson, Arizona with Gifford and twins. Her husband was Mark, and I've forgotten the other one, Sandy Kelly. She ran for Congress, as did I, so you can follow it. Then you've got the Aurora, Colorado, and the Grand Theater 16. 16's used in the Virginia Tech shooting, April the 16th of 07. It's used quite a bit in the pattern. Scott Peterson. I always thought that the Scott Peterson, because he had a good attorney. I mean, I like Mark Geragos. I think he did all he could. But these are just a few of them. There's a list of people that have been knocked off and killed, and a whole list of them. Wayne Williams on back. But I'm going to stop there because there's no need to go on. It spans, I started telling it in 70, and unless it goes into court now, they're over trying to erase the Syrian leader Assad off the map for using chemicals. Yet they've used mind control, taken away your mind, your ability, free will and thinking is the biggest civil liberty of all. And they have used chemicals on me, and if I were to tell it, people would, well, I don't believe that. Well, I hope they have to face it and see it. It wasn't okay to do it to me. So I don't know, I think that I'm just going to end it there, and, I don't know, I was out at Larry Flynn's. He was shot while I lived at Moonraker doing the book MD, A License to Kill. So you can follow that. A License to Kill was followed up. I did the book in 78. It was followed up with Timothy Dawson, 007. Moonraker was the movie with Roger Moore, and that's another 007. And by the way, real quick, my aunt owned Ghost Ranch out in Abic, next to Santa Fe, New Mexico, and Daniel Craig filmed Cowboys and Aliens on her Ghost Ranch there, and he's a 007. So I'm the monarch of the United States, kidnapped. They tortured the hell out of me and my kids. I don't even know where they are.